Oh man, it is a lot going on in the world of Caitlin Clark. New sponsorships to the left, new deals to the right. It's a lot going on. We are gonna get to every. Oh, that's a boss move. Oh, that's a crazy boss move. That's a flex. Hey, listen, I understand. You got Nike deals. You got freaking PGA Golf Tour, Live Golf Tour. You got hockey sponsor. I know you got a lot going on, but to turn down 15 M's.
The WNBA just imploded, folks, like kids denied candy at checkout, after Caitlin Clark looked straight at a $50 million offer from the commissioner and shrugged, "Nah, I'm good." Picture it, that money sliding back across the table like a cursed Uno card. Fans are losing it, haters are frothing, and the commissioner might be booking therapy sessions right now. This is pure, unfiltered chaos, and trust me, nobody saw it coming.
15. Woo! After 50. It started at 5.
Right.
But the official final offer was $15 million for 10 weeks. He must be making some good dough, and I just think that it was more like a league thing.
She didn't want to be
anything.
Yeah.
She had to give the WNBA
and I'm sure many offers came to her, especially after I think we helped her.
Yeah, make more money
with some more money. If anything, you got a name like Ice Cube offering you $15 million on publicly, man. You got all that. That's all you need. That's all you need for the other 5 and the other 5 and the other 5 to come together.
The WNBA just stumbled into chaos so wild it could make reality TV jealous. Picture this. The commissioner slides a record-shattering $50 million contract across the table to Caitlin Clark, expecting fireworks, tears, maybe even confetti cannons. Instead, Clark barely blinks, shrugs, and says, "Cute offer, but no thanks." That single moment lit the fuse. The league didn't just react, they went nuclear. Fans are in shock, haters are raging, and the meltdown looks more like toddlers in Walmart losing it after being told the toy aisle is closed.
Unrivaled. If y'all thought a few million and some equity was gonna get her to show up and play in your league, you got another thing coming. I said it. If Unrivaled want Caitlin Clark, y'all, a minimum of 10 million plus like 50% ownership of the whole league. That's where we start. That's the starting negotiation point. I might have undersold her, y'all. I might have undersold Caitlin Clark. Look at...
To understand why Caitlin Clark's rejection lit up the internet, you have to rewind to her meteoric rise. She's not just a basketball player, she's a walking cheat code. In college, Clark casually drained threes from parking lot range and made defenders look like extras in her personal highlight reel. Fans didn't just attend her games, they begged for tickets, cramming into arenas for a chance to witness the spectacle. She wasn't a star, she was a full-blown phenomenon.
League is on welfare. Okay, if they weren't on welfare, then the league would fold and there would be no women's basketball. And that is basically what has been revealed in this bombshell report about the WNBA being on track to lose roughly $50 million this year. $50 million, which is significantly more than the WNBA had been losing on a yearly basis in the past. Now, again, this is a little bit surprising because of the explosion in popularity of the WNBA due to Caitlin Clark, okay? But once we get into the details, it's not really all that surprising. But at the same time, reports like this kind of drive home the point that reasonable people have been trying to make about the WNBA.
By the time Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA, she wasn't just a rookie, she was an economy on legs. Merchandise sales skyrocketed, ticket prices surged, and arenas started looking more like Taylor Swift concerts, just without the friendship bracelets. Naturally, the WNBA figured it was time to lock her down. $50 million, a number the league had never dared whisper before. To put it in perspective, most WNBA players scrape by on contracts so small they wouldn't even cover an NBA rookie sneaker budget. Clark had just changed the game.
All right, recent report dropped that the Big Three reportedly offered Caitlin Clark 15 M's for 10 games, but she declined. Crazy. her endorsement deals must be pretty decent for her to willingly turn that down, because we know her WNBA salary is nothing to brag about. But for her to do that, I guess I look at it like this. If she were to have accepted that before she even stepped foot on a WNBA court, I could only imagine how they would have treated her. I don't even think she would have made it through half the season. She would have had a season-ending injury for sure.
This deal wasn't just about money, it was basically a desperate love letter from the WNBA. It screamed, "Please, Caitlin, don't leave us. We need you more than oxygen." But then came the twist, the rejection. It was a nuclear-level no, the kind that makes the person offering it instantly question every life choice that led to this moment. Picture the commissioner like someone who spent months planning the perfect marriage proposal, ring, fireworks, crowd ready with iPhones rolling in 4K, only to get shut down in front of everyone. But here's the kicker, with endorsements from Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, you name it, she's already sitting at a table stacked with offers worth double that. Smiling in commercials and casually draining logo threes pays way better than a league check. The WNBA thought they were dangling the deal of a lifetime, but Caitlin Clark knows her value. She's not just another player. She's the main attraction, the very reason casual fans bother tuning in.
And she declined it. If that doesn't tell you how much money Caitlin Clark is making, I don't know, bro. Because who's saying no to $15 million for 10 games? She doesn't even have to score 10 points and she still would be making more than a lot of NBA players make. But Caitlin Clark isn't even back from injury yet to play for the Indiana Fever. Do you guys think Caitlin Clark should have taken this $15 million deal?
At this point, Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA what Wi-Fi is to your house. You could technically survive without it, but good luck convincing anyone to stick around. The fallout from her rejection was instant. Fans split in two, half crowned her a genius, the other half branded her reckless. Sports media lost its mind, spinning it like a Wall Street crash crossed with a royal scandal. Headlines practically screamed, "Is Caitlin Clark destroying the WNBA?" And honestly, the league had to wonder the same. Without Clark, the WNBA is just another struggling league fighting for airtime between cornhole tournaments and midnight bowling reruns. That $50 million offer wasn't generosity, it was pure insurance. Clark simply reminded them she doesn't need the league nearly as much as they need her. It's like Netflix begging Taylor Swift for a concert special, only for her to laugh and say, "That's cute, I made more selling vinyl last week." The power dynamics flipped instantly. And here's the kicker, the WNBA didn't take it quietly. No, the league went straight into full-blown panic mode, scrambling to figure out what comes next.
Without Caitlin Clark, they would have no fans. And I think that a lot of people are forgetting the fact that just, again, a few years ago, before Caitlin Clark was in the league, this is what it looked like at a WNBA.
Picture the WNBA boardroom after Caitlin Clark's rejection, executives pacing, sweating, maybe even debating if selling plasma could scrape together another $20 million. Social media managers went into overdrive, flooding timelines with highlight reels, hashtags, and motivational quotes about growing the game. But the damage was already done, the narrative was out, Caitlin Clark had just flexed on the entire league. And now comes the bigger question, what does this mean for the WNBA's future? If one player can stare down a record-shattering $50 million offer and shrug, what does that say about the league's ability to keep its stars? Because here's the kicker, Caitlin isn't the only player who knows her worth. Others are watching, calculating, and taking notes. Meanwhile, the commissioner? They're probably still replaying that moment in their head at 3 a.m, wondering how the dream deal turned into a nightmare. If you thought the WNBA would just nod politely and move on, think again. When cornered, this league doesn't go quietly, it doubles down, and the drama has only just begun.
And speaking of basketball, your cousin Caitlin Clark just got an 8-figure deal with Nike.
Yeah.
A lot of people in our community is up in arms. They not feeling that. They mad Aja Wilson don't got a shoe yet. And it's simple math, bro. Aja Wilson played in the championship for the WNBA, and the final game peaked at like 1.2 million. Caitlin Clark played in the Final Four, and the game before the championship game peaked at 17 million viewers.
Caitlin Clark is gonna come to the WNBA and violate that shit.
This wasn't just rejection, it was public humiliation on the grandest stage. Imagine throwing the ultimate surprise party. You book Beyoncé, rent out an entire stadium, hire the best caterers, and then the guest of honor doesn't even bother to show. That's exactly how the commissioner must have felt, except worse, because millions were watching. The league's first response? Pure denial. Reports suddenly popped up with anonymous insiders insisting Caitlin hadn't actually turned the deal down. No, it was just complicated or still under discussion. Translation: the WNBA was scrambling to save face faster than a teenager frantically clearing their browser history before their parents walk in. Then came the anger. But here's the twist, this wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. Caitlin was playing chess while the league was still fumbling with the checkers box. And the internet? Oh, it had a field day. Memes exploded across timelines, clips of the commissioner sweating at press conferences, edited with captions like, "When you realize your entire business model depends on one 22-year-old." Others mocked up fake WNBA ads reading, "Please Caitlin, we'll even throw in free snacks for life." Brutal. Hilarious. And proof the internet never misses a chance to dunk on desperation.
The WNBA needs to do something about this. Cathy Engelbert, you need to get a hold of what's going on here. The officiating Kelsey Mitchell getting knocked around like a damn pinball, shoots 4 free throws. Aaliyah Boston plays an entire game as big, as strong, as physical as she is. Aaliyah Boston shoots 0 free throws. And she wasn't standing at the 3-point line. The officiating is flat out atrocious. Everybody else is getting calls. I think it's ridiculous. Just the fact that Aaliyah Boston shot 0 free throws tells you everything in itself.
Fans, of course, split into 2 fiery camps. On one side were the loyalists, calling Caitlin Clark a sellout, a diva, even ungrateful. They argued she was disrespecting the very league that gave her a platform. But let's be real, the WNBA didn't make Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark made the league matter. Before her, WNBA highlights were buried so deep they might as well have been collecting dust with your uncle's old VHS tapes. After her? Suddenly, arenas filled, ratings spiked, and casual fans actually remembered the league existed. On the other side were the supporters, praising her as a genius. To them, this wasn't arrogance, it was pure self-awareness. Why lock yourself into a long-term league deal when endorsements, media opportunities, and personal branding can easily triple the paycheck? Especially when those options don't involve grinding through back-to-back games in half-empty arenas. One network even ran a full panel debating whether Caitlin Clark had just ended the WNBA before it ever truly began. That's coverage usually reserved for alien invasions or government scandals, not a basketball contract. But chaos sells, and Caitlin Clark had just served the sporting world chaos on a perfectly polished silver platter.
This is something that do not be surprised if President Trump speaks on with that kind of audience that is protective of a Caitlin Clark and what she stands for and what she represents. And they come to a conclusion that they believe she is being unfairly treated. That is going to be a problem for the WNBA. And based on Trump's history with the NFL and him being an obvious sports fan, goes to events and stuff like that, he pays attention to this kind of stuff. I'm just warning them, watch it, because if he gets involved and that base gets involved, because somehow, some way they embrace victimhood on a part of Caitlin.
What did Caitlin Clark's rejection really say? To TV networks, it was a gut punch. Many had only agreed to broadcast WNBA games because Caitlin guaranteed eyeballs, ratings, and sold-out arenas. Without her, that shiny media deal suddenly looked a lot less valuable. To the players, it was a revelation. For years, they'd been told to accept scraps and be grateful. But now? They saw Caitlin flip the script and realized they might hold more power than the league ever wanted them to believe. And don't underestimate how much this rattled the commissioner personally. This wasn't just about money, it was about control. That $50 million offer was designed to tie Caitlyn down, to keep her spotlight safely under the WNBA umbrella. By rejecting it, she essentially announced, "You don't own me." For a commissioner used to players saying yes to whatever crumbs they were offered, this was an ego-shattering reality check. The beauty of it? Caitlyn didn't even need to explain herself. Her silence was the answer. She had already exceeded every expectation, and instead of being locked in, she flipped the entire power dynamic. It was like finding water in a desert, only for the water to smirk and say, "Actually, I'm not interested in being bottled right now." Suddenly, her rejection wasn't just a business move, it became a case study in empowerment, and the locker room took notice.
The WNBA did it because the sisters was upset that Caitlyn was getting so much attention, and they had to, the league had to hold Caitlyn back or allow Caitlyn to be held back with the refs, allowing the physical play against her by the players, the media diminishing her impact at every turn, and her play, and the league never coming to her defense to try to thwart off some of her.
Not empowerment in the polished, poster-ready way the WNBA's marketing team likes to advertise, but the real kind, the kind that terrifies executives. By now, the league's meltdown was undeniable. But the damage was permanent. Caitlyn Clark had made it clear, the power didn't sit with the commissioner's office, the boardroom, or the networks. It sat with her. And she proved it by casually walking away from $50 million. Here's the sting for the WNBA, she turned it down because she simply doesn't need it. Endorsements are already pouring in. Nike rolled out the red carpet. Gatorade probably has warehouses stacked with bottles featuring her face. State Farm could call her tomorrow and have her in a commercial by dinner. And then there's social media, millions of views on every highlight, millions of fans eager to buy whatever sneakers she laces up. Compared to that empire, the commissioner's $50 million offer looked more like loose change. Caitlyn didn't flinch because, to her, the league's mega deal was just small potatoes.
Out of the game. WNBA hates Caitlyn Clark. She is a white girl in a predominantly black league who's better than all of them. Even with everything that's going right now with the pay us what you owe us shirt, you saw Kelsey Plum at the end of it, tattletale basically, and bring out Caitlyn Clark about her team not being there. So there's always...
The league thought it was pulling off the ultimate power move. Caitlyn Clark turned it into a punchline. Rejecting $50 million didn't shrink her brand, it made her even bigger. Overnight, she wasn't just a star athlete, she became the athlete who made the WNBA look desperate. She became the woman bold enough to say, "I don't need your record-breaking offer. I've got bigger plans." And in sports, nothing is more valuable, or more attractive, than leverage. But zoom out for a moment, because this is bigger than one contract. This is about the future of women's sports. For decades, female athletes have been told to take what they're given, smile for the cameras, talk about growing the game, and never question the yawning pay gap. By walking away from what looked like the biggest deal in WNBA history, she reminded every athlete watching that gratitude doesn't pay the bills, leverage does. And make no mistake, this wasn't a gamble. The endorsement world is the Wild West, and Caitlyn Clark is the gunslinger walking into town knowing she already owns it. The irony? The WNBA thought this deal secured their future. Instead, it revealed how fragile that future really is. Because if one player can flip the league upside down with a single rejection, what happens when others start testing their worth too? Caitlyn may have just sparked a revolution, without saying a word.
They offered Caitlyn Clark $15 million to play in 10 games. That's $1.5 million per game, bro. And she turned it down. Caitlyn Clark, you so much better than me. The WNBA would have never, hey listen, I would have never stepped foot on that court. $1.5 million per game. Bron don't even make that. And you turned it down for her contract in the WNBA, she gonna make like $400,000 in 4 years. That's the part that I don't really understand about WNBA players. They make so much bread everywhere else. They be making more bread in college. They make more bread overseas. They can make more in Unrivaled, the Big Three. There's so many options, but they still be playing in the WNBA. I don't get it.
The commissioner is probably still lying awake at night, replaying the scene like a nightmare on loop. Imagine being in their shoes. You scrape together the biggest contract your league has ever offered, present it like the Holy Grail, and the player you're banking your entire future on doesn't just decline, it feels like she left. That's the kind of rejection that lives in your head rent-free forever. And the beauty of it? Caitlin Clark doesn't even have to say a word. Every game she plays, every sold-out arena, every viral highlight reel makes her point for her. She holds all the leverage without lifting a finger. The more the WNBA tries to spin themselves as the winners in this story, the more obvious it becomes that Caitlin is the one in control. Clark isn't just sitting pretty, she's rewriting the playbook. By turning down $50 million, she redefined what it means to have options in modern sports. She proved that real power doesn't sit in a commissioner's office or a boardroom. It rests with the stars who know their worth and aren't afraid to act on it. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark far more than Caitlin Clark needs the WNBA. And she reminded everyone with one devastating word: no.